Shout out to Cats Pod.
1 second. A good defensive play for Montana State.
Touchdown, Tommy Milan is electrifying.
Welcome to the Cats Pod. What's up, Pawdcats? It has been an interesting week for your second favorite podcast out there on the airwaves. We were always wondering when the negative feedback was going to come, and it came. It came. The negative feedback came, and it was mainly from NDSU fans. So
yeah,
I don't know why. The main thing I didn't understand about this. First of all, thank you for the views. Like, a view is a view. So engagement is engagement. Thank you. I don't know why you go to a show called The Cats Pod and you click on an episode called Thank You Bobcats and you expect like unbiased journalism from us, you know? Like, these NDSU fans, I don't know what they were expecting. Like, they were just going to come on and we were going to love it just a couple days after the national championship. No. Like, doesn't make any sense.
Maybe we need to set the record straight here. We are not journalists.
No.
We overreact to everything.
Oh, yeah. We tend to overreact.
And we are extremely biased.
Yeah. Also, thank you to all the real journalists out there. And the media, like, we said some stuff about the media last week, and I think it was mainly just in the anger spiral, you know. But there are actual media outlets you can go to if you want the news and you want like actual news, but we are not it. You know, if you want intelligent breakdown, this is not where you came.
We are just super fans.
Yeah.
We don't report to anybody. So
except for comment sections, apparently.
Yeah, those comments got pretty wild, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah.
I mean, they were legitimately mad at us.
They were not happy, and I was just like, I don't care enough about this at all. There was one comment that I really enjoyed, where this nice lady came on and said that she thought we both need a hug, and I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I was like, I do need a hug. That would actually make things better.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we were hard on Cam Miller. I guess I don't remember that specifically, but I just don't remember that specifically. But
we barely said 2 words about Cam Miller. I re-listened to the whole thing. I think I brought him up once in the entire hour.
Yeah. But if reading the comments section, it would have been more likely that we had spent an hour trashing Cam Miller.
Yeah, that's what you would have thought. That's what you would have thought for sure. No, it was great. Honestly, I was just really surprised that people from NDSU would listen to it. Also, shout out to some of our podcasts that defended us a little bit. You know.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it does say something about NDSU because we trash talk a lot of schools on this podcast, and nobody ever brings it up in the comment section.
No. Could you imagine if Sac State started coming at us?
Oh,
they would have some legitimate grievances. Sac State deserves to come at us.
Yeah.
NDSU, not so much.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
It's been interesting. Growing pains. A little bit of growing pains.
Other than that,
mm-hmm.
There isn't a ton of news. I feel like we maybe expected some kind of transfer news, like incoming transfer news, like maybe some offers being extended, but and we don't actually know that there's not.
Yeah.
It just has been radio silence across pretty much everything that I've seen. I haven't seen anybody say anything about any offers being made to any potential transfers.
Yeah, I haven't caught anything either. I've been looking around trying to go through the transfer portal trackers and stuff like that, and I have not seen much that can be confirmed at all. Just the outgoing players, but I feel like that's kind of how it goes. Like, we're gonna have a few weeks. We got to see what the roster's like, and then the offers will start going out. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies have already signed 18 transfers.
Yeah, that's wild. That's you're
I
trying to rebuild your program though. That's the difference there. That's when you're trying to completely tear the thing down to the studs and rebuild the program, which is not the situation we're in.
I mean, I know I said it before, but I'm just not sure they're going to have a Montana kid start on that team.
It's possible that they will not. I don't know.
It just doesn't seem likely at this point. I mean, pretty much I don't know the Grizzlies in and out like I do the Bobcats roster, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem like there's any super studs left for like out of Montana kids. And that would be a pretty big disappointment if they trotted out a team completely full of out-of-staters.
Yeah. It would definitely affect it a lot, for sure.
I know there's Montana kids on the roster. I just don't know that they're, on they've got a lot. The Grizzlies have got a lot of FBS to FCS transfers and quite a few, even D2 or FCS players that are really good. Like that kid from Eastern Washington that Wortham is a stud.
What really struck me today is I was going through X and I saw a tweet from Mr. Victor Flores, and it was how many snaps our FCS to FBS transfers from last year got at their FBS schools, respectively. And so basically he was pointing out that every single person that's transferred FCS to FBS has been successful or at least a big part of their team,
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean there's been a bunch of those things that I think it was Sam Herder or something like that. I can't even remember now exactly, but they put out one that was tracking how many snaps the FCS to FBS players played.
Yep.
Went through every player and kind of found that a lot of those FCS guys weren't getting quite as much playing time as they thought they might get. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it's been a bad situations for some of them, but the Montana State guys have been doing pretty well.
Yeah, they have. They've done really well, especially like Rush Reimer and Seabass. I think there was a pretty good rotation there, but even he got Big Ten honorable mention, so he got some pretty valuable playing time there. But we do have a couple pretty substantial transfers to the FBS level. It's kind of crazy. Connor Moore, he was supposed to visit Ohio State and he just flat out canceled it and signed with Michigan State. They must have really rolled out the red carpet for old Connor Moore.
Yeah, as they should. He is that kind of talent. And I've always kind of like I don't really care about the Big Ten. I don't have any real allegiances, but I've always been kind of a Michigan State or a Wisconsin guy. I enjoy cheering for those two schools, especially like as a basketball fan as well.
Yeah,
they're good programs.
Yeah. No, Michigan State. He put out a lot of pictures, and there were pictures of him. It looked like it was a pretty good visit, and I guess I don't know if there were any prior, fandoms from when he was a kid or anything, but whatever they said must have rung home because he canceled on. I don't think Ohio State's getting used to getting left at the altar.
Yeah, that would be really weird, especially when they're probably looking down a little bit on an FCS transfer, and he was just like, yeah, we're going to Michigan State, which is complete speculation. I don't know why I just said that, but it's my opinion,
Well, that's what you're going to get on this podcast is unfiltered, unbridled opinions.
Yeah, and we also don't edit anything out, which we might have to stop doing soon. Yeah.
Never.
The
other one is Mr. Rohan Jones. Still not happy that he left, but here we are.
Arkansas, that's a big get,
That is a big get. I saw he had an offer. I think he had an offer from Kentucky. I thought I saw. So multiple SEC offers, not to mention a very strong list of eligible suitors. On top of those two, but yeah, Arkansas, they got a good one.
I was really, really hoping for Louisville because that is
Yeah.
my FBS school. So I was really, really rooting for him to go there because I saw they did offer him, and I thought that'd be a really cool place for him to go. But not quite so lucky. But Arkansas, our boy Marcus Monaco coached there for a few years, so we have a connection there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. That's
Mhm.
very true. And now we will be subtle Arkansas and Michigan State fans.
Very subtle. Very subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think there's any other sign. I guess Casey Kautzman's going home, gonna start kicking for Montana Tech. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy for him. I think he maybe had a few struggles at Montana State, and that'll be good for him to get somewhere where he's gonna get some playing time and be able to contribute.
Mm-hmm. I think it's hard. I think it's hard to keep those Butte boys out of Butte for too long. You know, we had Tommy, and we could keep Tommy for a while in Bozeman, but from my experience with the Butte locals, which are some of my favorite people in the world, they don't really leave much. They kind of stick around Butte.
Yeah. Other than that, been pretty quiet on the signing deal,
Mm-hmm.
but Mr. Andrew Powdrill has quite the list of suitors.
Yeah, that dude's going to get some offers because he has shown that he is a young talent and he is only going to be growing. So it's going to be pretty awesome for him.
I saw he had UNLV on that list. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to UNLV. They were pretty darn good last year.
Mm-hmm.
That one wouldn't surprise me too much. So I bet if I had to put money on it, that's where I bet he goes.
As long as UNLV has figured out their NIL stuff, because you remember all the weirdness that was going on with their quarterback leaving. They've got something fishy going on in that program. So I hope they've got that cleared up if Andrew Powdrill goes over there. That would be huge.
Yeah, sure.
You know.
Where did I just see Saluka's going? He's reuniting with a coach somewhere.
I don't know.
I just saw that. Now I can't remember. I saw he is following a coach somewhere, but it would have been cool. I saw that Rohan got an offer from old Bill Belichick over at North Carolina.
Yeah. I don't know if I would want to play for Bill Belichick, honestly. That probably speaks to my amount of ambition in life that I really wouldn't want to play for that kind of coach. But, I'm more of a fun time guy than Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Who am I missing? I haven't seen personally anything on Polidor on where he might go or offers or anything.
And that was a little late change up for him, so I think it'll take a minute for those offers to actually come in. I feel like there must be something going on behind the scenes there where there's some negotiations happening.
Yeah. That one stung a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I was so jacked when I saw him post that he was going to stay and then just pulls the rug out from under, shucks.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it.
We've said all along, anybody who says they wouldn't do going if they got offered money or whatever, they're total liars if they wouldn't go do the exact same thing. But that one was like celebration. Polidor's coming back, and then
shit,
right back down to earth.
Right back down. And there'll be plenty of time to pick up talent or just to keep rocking with the talent that we are keeping, because there is still a lot of talent on the roster. The one I believe we haven't mentioned yet is Mr. Lanyata Alexander Jr., which is one of the tougher ones to deal with.
Yeah. That one's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's family related, so can't fault a guy there. We've all been there.
Yeah.
But man,
Idaho, the Vandals, dude, the Vandals.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but I suspect that this has something to do with them maybe being more of a pass-happy offense than the Cats. The Cats are always going to be run first, or at least it seems like they're always going to be run first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I can't read minds, but my
Everything
guess is
does
that
seem like it's heading in that direction, though, where for next year's team.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So my guess is he, this was maybe his best chance to be a number one receiver and, put up a maybe more of a season-long stat line than he did this year. But I mean, the Bobcats are, I think, going to be probably Taco first all the time from here on out. I mean, he's shown kind of a special ability. So, happy that he found a good place, but also Idaho, really?
It's just so boring over there, just so boring.
The only
also
worst
the
would be
the
the
one
Grizzlies.
that would be horrible. Like don't even bring that up. If we had somebody transfer straight across, that would be terrible. The only other thing that we haven't really mentioned about this one is that Lanyata was roommates with Tommy, and I feel like they were pretty close. And with Tommy leaving, he probably just kind of thought it was his time as well,
Yeah.
They did their thing together for a few years, and maybe time to move on to somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, sorry to see him go. Hopefully he does well for the Vandals, just not against the Bobcats.
Yep. Do we play them next year?
No, we do not.
Have we looked at the schedule?
No. We don't play them next year, but we do in 2026. We go to Idaho in 2026.
Oh, we have to go to Idaho.
Yeah. So nothing this year, but and I mean maybe playoffs. We'll see. I'm not 100% sold on Idaho in the playoffs, but we'll see.
Yeah, we definitely will. Are we gonna? Should we try and do our way too early predictions for next year?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
We gotta longer.
We gotta start looking at some other stuff.
The other one is Tyler Walker and Al. I think it's Al Johnson. Is that right? The offensive line coach. Either way, Tyler Walker and the O-line coach did sign their contracts with Temple.
Yeah.
So they are officially hired.
Yeah. Temple was one where I just don't know anything about their program. Is that a program that's had success? Like, I can't think of them ever having like a top 25 team or anything like that. I just don't hear about Temple outside of old Temple basketball,
Well, I read a lot of comments on social media on those articles specifically about them leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some pretty funny comments like, Temple has a football team?
Yeah. I was not it's in Texas, so they have to have a football team. I think that's a requirement for a Texas university, that they have some type of football going on campus.
Is it in Texas?
I thought it was. If I'm wrong again, that would be terrible. I probably am too.
I thought Temple was in Pennsylvania.
Oh, it's in Philadelphia. What am I even thinking of? Oh, I'm all
Come
shook.
on, Ben.
I'm shook. I still haven't recovered fully. Okay, I am fully shook right now. Hopefully I'll bounce back eventually, but
But that also leaves two positions to fill on our coaching staff, and not a lot of rumblings on that either. I don't think.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I think it's just too early for those decisions to be made. I mean, eventually it'll have to, but we still got plenty of time.
I'm guessing there will be quite a lot of news of possible incoming players and potential coaching hires here I bet it's within the next couple months.
Yeah. It would have to be. You got to start getting ready for next year. It's already time.
Yeah.
There's no off season. There is no off season.
Always working. Working. Have you digested the loss anymore? Or are you still?
A little bit. NDSU is a very good team. Just rewatching the game and stuff, as painful as it was, they made key plays and key moments and did what you have to do to win a championship. So,
Yeah. I know that loss by the Minnesota Vikings on Monday didn't make me feel any better.
No, that was brutal. I was like, how does this always happen? How is it always this way for the Vikings?
I think I might be a curse on any team I root for. I mean, I kid you
Yeah.
not, Ben. This year, the Phillies got off to one of the hottest starts to the All-Star break in MLB history,
Mm-hmm.
and then choked it all away. The Bobcats lost in the national title game,
Mm-hmm.
and the Minnesota Vikings went 14-2 or whatever it was, and lost in the freaking wild card.
Yeah.
Like, this is a brutal stretch for my sports fandom.
Yeah. It's
mean,
been pretty tough.
I basically just spread my legs and get kicked in the nuts 3 times.
Basically, all I have is the Seahawks that didn't even make the playoffs, that are stuck in the middle, not even getting good draft picks, always staying in the middle, just spinning their tires and not really doing anything. The Bobcats as well, you know. And then I've got the Chicago Bulls that are just doing the exact same thing as the Seattle Seahawks. They stay in the direct middle of the pack. They're going to be fighting to be in the play-in game again. They're going to get another mid-level draft pick, and nothing's going to change. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I guess I'm trying not to totally buy in on Iowa State's basketball team this year, but pretty sure I'm sold. Number 2 in the country, and I'm sure they'll let me down big time.
It's
they'll
possible.
probably,
Who knows?
To stay on par, they'll have to take it a long ways and then just completely implode.
Yeah. They really have to build you up a little bit more, though, you know?
Yeah.
They got to keep building you up and building you up and building you up, and then, boom, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, March Madness, I'll have my legs spread, ready to go, and an ice pack ready.
That is the struggle of the day. I can tell you that. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's just not a lot going on with the football team right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty quiet.
Yeah, it is very quiet. Not alarmingly quiet, pretty understandably quiet, but I'll start getting alarmed soon, probably.
Yeah. I just keep going through the roster. You know, I've got a lot of time with the calving going on, and you know, it's a lot of time spent in the calving barn to look over things, and I do really like the roster still. I think it is. I still think it's way above average, and I saw the early season rankings for next year, and they had the Cats at number 4, and I do like that. I feel like generally there's a lot of I feel like people are believing in the Bobcats still, regardless of you know, some pretty major names taking off unexpectedly, I guess.
Yeah. It doesn't help at all. But what does help is that some of those names that are sticking around have officially become Pawdcats this week.
Ooh,
you know.
who'd we get?
So we got a few here. We got Mr. Dylan Rollins, who'll be coming in, followed the podcast.
Go.
We got Caden Dowler. We haven't gotten Taco yet. We haven't gotten Taco. Next goal is to get Taco to be a follower. And then we also got Mr. Sean Chambers. So, you know,
big get right there.
Big time follows going on. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Darn it, I was just gonna say something, and I just lost it.
Damn.
I just lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the whole roster thing. I think, you know, aside from quarterback, I think the positions are already kind of set with the guys who are, you know, pretty much on the 2 deep all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the collective put a really nice deal together of players, you know, posting that they were coming back.
Yep.
The same kind of thing that Polidor put up, but those guys, I thought that was really cool. You know, we were losing some guys, and I don't know if that was like a partnership or what that was exactly, but I thought that was super cool because it was like, oh, hey guys, hold on. Like, we're still here. We're still around. Don't worry. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know what you thought.
Oh, I loved seeing the announcements that people were staying. Like, that was huge because it just helps the fans like us get kind of pulled out of that depression rabbit hole, because when all you see on social media is who's leaving, and that's what's being pushed in front of your face as it scrolls down the screen, that
Yeah.
starts to affect you. And so when you're scrolling down and all of a sudden you see another player and this one's, hey, we love you, Bobcat Nation. I'm sticking around. Let's run it back for another year, you know? And the first one I feel like was JT Reed, you know?
Yeah, that was super cool. He got that. I think he ended up using that. And I think he has another year on top of this. He either used the JUCO year, or I think he took has a medical possibly red shirt. I can't remember how it worked out there, but
I think it was the JUCO transfer one. Pretty sure it
I
was
think
JUCO
it was.
transfer.
But I think he still does have that medical red shirt for the following year if he were to want to play again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was first to come out and say, like, let's do this again. Burkmastel was there, Paul Brott, Kenny Iden. I mean, that was I'm like you. That totally pulled me out of the depression spiral we were in for a little bit. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat and kind of a nice touch when you got guys departing.
So I might have just blanked this out of my memory, but you know that picture that came out of Paul Brott and Kenny Iden standing in front of the Bobcat built pyramid?
Yeah.
Had you seen that pyramid before?
I hadn't seen that pyramid.
I had never seen that pyramid, and I was like, is this something that I was just missing the entire time? That was cool.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one, but at all, really. I hadn't even heard of it.
Yeah. I kept talking about all year how there was this checklist, and it was like, we're going to do this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And then it turns out they had it painted on the wall.
Yeah.
I thought I was just making something up, and they have it painted on the wall. So it felt good.
Yeah.
You know?
Goal-oriented team right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, I just thought that was a pretty cool touch because, like you said, you know, all the media outlets are, you know, they're running the stories about all the guys that are leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And that just got really old really fast.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see something else pop on the screen too when those guys started posting it on their own social medias and everything. And then it gave the media outlets another thing to run with a little bit.
Yeah. You got to go with the news you got, you know,
in
these situations, which sucks.
And in our case, we only like the good news.
Only the good news.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of changes that are being made to college football, one of the big things online that I've seen this week, I'm sure you've seen it. I think we were both commenting on some posts about NIL and how it is going to affect the NCAA going into the future. I was going off on a post. I was a little bit triggered, I would say, by suggesting a salary cap on these guys because it's privately earned money. So I was not very happy about that.
Yeah, a salary cap, I don't even understand how that would work. But as far as I know, most of your NIL funds come from I don't think any of it really comes from the school.
Yeah.
So it's not like the school can just tell you what to do. I guess I don't know. I mean, it's such a gray area.
Yeah. So they've made laws where you have to disclose anything you make over $600, I believe. Anytime you get paid more than $600 for your name, image, or likeness, you have to disclose that money to the NCAA. Which seems wrong to me. If I were to go out and I make a deal with Nike, like say I'm one of these guys, I make a deal with Nike, they pay me $250,000 to wear Nike stuff or whatever the situation is, or do a couple commercials. Like, that's not the NCAA's business. They shouldn't have any say in what I'm doing. Like, it's all completely independent outside of the NCAA.
Yeah. I mean, you can disclose everything when you pay your taxes on whatever you get paid.
Mm-hmm. But that's between you and the government. I'm talking about the NCAA that doesn't have any power whatsoever. Their power is completely made up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very well versed in the rules of NIL. Mm-hmm. I know it exists.
Yeah.
And I know that it does a lot for a lot of kids. So that's about the extent of my knowledge. So.
I got you.
Teach me, Ben.
I'm
Teach
sorry. I just was getting heated about this week. I don't know what part of me gets mad about this, but I just want these kids to make their money, and I want the NCAA to stay out of their pockets. And I don't care about like how it's going to affect old school football or whatever, or whatever they're calling loyalty these days, where it means you have to stay somewhere, even if it's a bad situation. I don't get it. But the changes that are being made to NIL will definitely affect the Bobcats next year. The major one is going to be, as we've talked about before, the roster sizes. FBS moving up to 105, that's going to be a lot more players that are going to those FBS teams. That means there's going to be a lot more talent sitting on benches in the FBS rather than playing at a different level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think it actually cuts down on some rosters too.
Yeah.
Because you can only have 105, and I think I saw something. It was Matt Rule at Nebraska was going to lose 50-some players, but was going to be able to scholarship 105.
What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I don't know I could be totally pulling that out of my butt right now, but I do think that there's going to be some players coming off those rosters in some of those really big schools.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, they're going to be able to scholarship 105 players on those big schools. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. You only play 22 kids. Yeah. I guess you have special teams, but you have offense, defense, special teams. That's not a ton of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a whole lot more sitting right behind them.
How many are on an NFL roster? Isn't it like
53?
Yeah, 53. I was thinking it was something like that. So you get twice as many players, and I understand you're doing development for the next years and stuff like that. So you kind of need to have that layer of players that are going to be coming up the next few years, but just seems like a lot. Seems like a lot. If I was a high school athlete right now, I'd be pretty jacked though. It's a lot of scholarship opportunities out there.
Yeah, and I think the main thing that this does to I do think this basically turns FCS into a feeding system or a feeder system for the FBS from now on.
Yeah,
I mean they're able to offer these kind of scholarships to that many kids, and I really do think they're going to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be able to come in and, get really good players and develop them how they want. And, I think that's just kind of the way it is going to be going forward.
Yeah. And there's also some rumored changes. I haven't seen anything official from the NCAA that they're going to start allowing colleges to basically pay the players directly. Like the universities will partner with the collectives to pay the players, which is going to make things even more complicated. So already a complicated system, already super convoluted, and it's just going to add more. Yeah.
Well, and really, I mean, it gives us more of a fair shot if we can get our university involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
We can compete. Maybe, I mean, we're still not even on the same scale at all, but
yeah,
it gives us at least a chance,
Mm-hmm. It's just going to be two completely different leagues because of the new 22% rule. Like a player's max of what they can make in NIL money is 22% of what the school's revenue is. So if you are Alabama, 22% of your revenue is, I believe it was close to $20 million. And if you're Montana State, what you're capped at by the revenue is about $5 million. So you have 4 times the earning potential if you go to Alabama versus Montana State. It's just the way the numbers work out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's just such a confusing thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the rules at all. I'll just take what I get told, what I read.
We're just gonna stick with the Montana guys that we know and love, Hope for a couple transfers here or there that we can get excited about. That's about all there is anymore. You know.
Yeah. It's a kind of. I mean, it's muddy waters out there with NIL. I mean, I'm not a college athlete. I'll never understand it. I don't know if ever anybody really totally understands it, but that's the day and age we're living in now, and it just. I mean, it's just something that everybody's gonna have to deal with from now on. I mean, it's not going away.
Yeah. And the answer is not to go backwards. You know, that's my big thing. The answer is not to go back to slave labor. You know, that's not where we need to go.
No, I do like I mean, we had Ty on here, and he said it makes life easier on a student athlete to be able to have, not live on, what did he say, ramen?
Yeah.
I think it not have to live on ramen, and I mean, if that's the case, I'm all for it, man.
Also, I shouldn't say slave labor, indentured servitude. I'm sorry, you know. They did
really took a springboard there, Ben.
I know. I'm going off today. I don't know why, but it's indentured servitude. They do get room and board, and you know.
Yeah, but that's the new world we're living in, and I guess we just have to just kind of wade through it as best we can.
Yeah, not very fun times when it comes to NIL. Sorry, my bad.
Have you seen all this weird stuff with the Mountain West and UC Davis and Sac State?
Yeah, I am having a really hard time understanding that. Do you have any kind of grasp on it?
Well, the only reason I even thought of it is because we were talking about confusing muddy waters, and this seems like a confusing thing of all. You have the Mountain West saying UC Davis gets first dibs on, I think it was football only, and Sac State's like, God, no, we're gonna be in it soon. And I'm pretty sure it was the president of the university that tweeted that.
Huh. That's a really weird move. I also don't understand the joining the conference and everything but football for UC Davis.
No, it's football and nothing else.
What? I thought it was the opposite. Are you sure?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a football-only member of the Mountain West.
That is weird.
Or maybe that's Sac State. I don't know. Like I said, this whole thing is just super confusing.
It's either all football or no football. We have no idea.
Yeah. But I mean, it basically closed the door on any rumors of the Dakota States and the Montana schools moving up.
It really did, and I'm not so mad about that, honestly. It would be kind of cool to move up to the FBS, but I still very much enjoy FCS football, and as we've gotten more acquainted with the community around the country of FCS, I really like it, you know.
Yeah, it would be a tough community to leave. I mean, there's some pretty cool people involved with the FCS. I think I like the idea personally of continually year in and year out, making the playoffs and sniffing championships and stuff like that, rather than middling around in a FBS conference fighting for the Mayonnaise Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, but honestly, dude, if we got into the Pop-Tart Bowl, do you know how jacked up I would be for the Pop-Tart Bowl?
That would be cool.
Bobcats in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Do you get a blue and yellow, a blue and gold Pop-Tart jumping into that thing? I'd be into that.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that. But I still think I'd rather go to Nashville for a couple years and then back to Frisco.
Yeah, that'd be fine with me. That would be completely fine with me.
Speaking of Frisco, did you see that comment on the last episode that said if you thought that field was tore up, you should have seen it a few years ago? Or I don't remember which game specifically he said, but if it was that bad then, I can't even imagine.
Dude, I brought it up in the preview episode. It is something people talk about, is how bad that field is.
I know. Every year. I've heard it gets tore up, but I mean, it was pretty tore up there, and boy, apparently it was just mangled.
Yep.
Whatever game he was referencing.
Apparently, you don't want to play football on a soccer field.
No.
It
No,
doesn't
I
help
guess-
you out in a lot of situations.
I guess soccer players don't tear it up as bad. I mean, I feel like all that running and cutting and everything would tear it up, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you just think about what it does to the grass with the offensive line and the defensive line bashing every single play. Like, that's going to
true.
tear stuff up.
Yeah. Peeling out, pushing around. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I still, back to that comment section, that thing was wild.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening, you ought to go take a peek at that.
It was nice to see you NDSU fans. If they're still listening to this episode, I don't know what they're doing. Like, why are they here? Did they like fall into the wrong rabbit hole in YouTube? I don't know what's going on.
Well, if we do have NDSU fans listening, maybe we should start incorporating more NDSU smack talk. Like, I can't believe people would go back to that university instead of going. Yes, that makes me really mad.
I can't believe that they would voluntarily wear those colors for 4 years, 4 to 7 years at this point. You know.
Yeah, it's a terrible color scheme. It's kind of like the Green Bay Packers, and I hate them too.
Yeah, it's like exactly like the Green Bay Packers, and both of them are terrible. You know.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, Ben. Going forward, I think my new rivalry is 100% NDSU, Montana State.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need. I mean, obviously everybody cares about Cat Grizz, but I don't care about it as much as I care about the next shot at NDSU we get.
Yeah. And we don't know when that's going to happen because I don't see it anywhere in the schedule in the near future. So, once again, it would have to be a playoff thing.
Oh, bring it on.
Yeah.
I would look forward to that so much, and I can guarantee you every player on that Cats roster wants another crack at them.
Yeah, we need to get over the hump eventually. You
Hey,
have to
NDSU.
get over the hump.
Hey, NDSU, the better team lost.
Don't start with them again. I guarantee they didn't listen 42 minutes into this thing. Are you bored? Do we have anything else we need to be talking about?
No, but hopefully there's some news coming out here soon, and we maybe some transfers or some potential coaching hires, and I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm. We will keep everybody posted as that news comes along. We also have some episodes in the works still. We've run into some scheduling conflicts, and it's kind of ixnayed a couple of our plans. So we will see.
Yeah.
We will have some good episodes for you guys coming up. Oh, and we didn't mention the one thing we didn't mention. The video for the sea shanty is created. So,
Oh,
you know, people thought we were a serious show and everything. Sorry to break your heart when I'm making sea shanties. You know?
yeah. Well, we're gonna have to find the right time to release the sea shanty.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be very specific timing for sure. You know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that timing is going to be, but we will find it.
Yeah.
And I do know we will have to do our way too early predictions.
Mm-hmm. That will be
Like,
coming up soon. Like way too early.
Yeah, we'll title that one way, and then during the summer sometime we'll do way,
Way.
and a couple months later we'll do way.
And then just 2. You know?
Yeah.
We need to come up with content. That's what we need. Oh, also, shout out to the MSU rodeo team for getting to be in the inauguration parade. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, that's a big spotlight for a pretty cool organization there. They've had a lot of success. They've been leading our team out, and now they'll be on the national stage. So yeah, that's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, whatever your affiliations are, it's pretty cool to be able to go and be a part of history like that.
Yeah, the first ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say to the peoples?
I think I'm good.
Alrighty, thanks everybody for listening. Go ahead and follow us on X or Instagram at CatsPod. Check us out on YouTube at The CatsPod. Check out the comment section of Thank You Bobcats if you really want a quick laugh. or to just feel bad for us, We will see you guys next week with another subpar episode.
Adios.